will receive this untrue centering position. Ben Osborne linking up with Chris Donnell. Goes inboard to skipper Dan King. King now unloads and goes high inside 450. Grattan Stevens is down there, but English used his body well and takes the mark of true centre half back, and you look to bring it across to Jordan here on that outer side.
And the mark has been taken out there by Calder. Swings around on the right boot, kicks it up towards the direction of Black. He had to be clever there. He sold some candy and then ran in towards the middle of the ground. Options up forward. Who's going to be the target here? Williams comes out in front, couldn't quite trap it at the fall. The ball, Debney picks it up, gets a little handball out towards Dan King. He swings around on the right boot. His kick was half smothered. Coming in there was McCubbin. He had to trap the football. Lots of pressure around this ball. The handball goes back there, that time by McLaughlin. And the doggies are going to get out of this across the half back line there. The good kick by Osborne on the left boot goes in towards the middle of the ground and coming out and taking a pretty strong mark out there. They've got players in Marshall all by himself at centre half forward. If they go to that direction, instead they elected to go towards the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Now Debney on the left boot will go up towards the half forward line. Bouncing football, will it stay in? No, it won't. And we'll have a boundary throw in about 70 metres out, or probably even a little bit closer, 55 metres out from the South Croydon goals.
Both teams will be able to create that loose man coming out of defence by that quick switch into space on the opposite sides of the ground and using that to great effect early on. Well,
it was nearly all Norwood players that went up. English on hands and knees, got the handball away to Blackie, who did a hospital handball. That was okay. Manskin got the handball out wide towards the Calder direction on the left boot, gets it out of that danger zone, but Grattan Stevens stands in position A, takes the mark, finds Dan King in the middle. He's getting a lot of the football early in the piece for South Croydon. Daniel King had a super season so far. They're enjoying going out wide, but why wouldn't you? And a mark has been taken out there by Ben Osborne. He wants to go short. He'll go back to King, racking up the possessions. Goes inboard now. A strong-looking kick over the top of the pack. It was a good fist away there by Newman. The umpire will come in and pay a free kick to South Croydon. So a little bit too high there. I think it might have been against Brent English, and it'll go the way of Sam Cuthbert, and he'll look to put the first score on the board for the Dogs. Cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, look, on the interchange for Norwood, we have Carroll, Bull, McBride, and there's a number 42, not on my list, Jack Cornwell. And for South Croydon?
Boys, that is Sam Carley.
So Sam Cuthbert, he'll have to roost this one from 50 metres out. It's a strong-looking kick. It might come back. It hits the pine on the way through. So unlucky there for South Croydon. They do get their first score on the board on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 7.5-minute mark. They are one behind. Norwood yet to score.
Alex Calder, trusted with the kick-in duties here for the Norseman. He'll go to himself and he'll look to bring it out towards this broadcast half flank. Oh, that's a shank of a kick off the boot, though, and it's gone out of bounds on the full, about 50 metres out from South Croydon's goal. So another opportunity for the Dogs to pepper goals here.
I'm not sure if Matty will be able to tell us this, but I don't think 8 minutes in, I don't think Norwood have had an inside 50 yet.
No, I've only paid them the one. So, yeah, you're right. South Croydon well on top.
So Minogue has got the footy here. He's about 40 metres out from goal. I think the umpires are just working out an angle or if it went out of bounds in the form. And nonetheless, Minogue's got the footy. He's about 50 metres out from goal, tucked up on the boundary though. He doesn't look too confident, so he centres it towards the top of the goal square. Who's going to fly? Stevens from behind, couldn't quite take the mark. Comes to ground, the kick off the ground there by Arthurson towards the goal square. Hill gets back with Mallison. Hill did really well, put his body over the line and put his body on the line and put the ball over the boundary line. And this will be tossed back in here about 40 metres out from goal. Umpire wastes no time, chucks it in now. Comes to the bottom of the pack, trying to force his way through there was Carley. That won't be on your team list, ladies and gents. That's Carley, number 42 for South Croydon. Of course, the son of Secretary Vince of South Croydon. Molnar went up in the third man from the stoppage, only as far down to English. English now handballs it towards half-back. Strong tackle applied there by the Norseman. Umpire Jack Murphy says, give it to me, gentlemen. We will ball it up about 50 metres out from South Croydon's goal. Get the feeling the Dogs just with the ascendancy at the moment, even though only one behind has been scored for the game. The majority of players been in their forward half. Jordan's kick was smothered off the boot and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Frosty, South Croydon on top at the moment, you think? Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking at you. Caught a little bit off guard. As the ball comes in now, Armstrong brings it to ground. English got fed out a little hand pass towards Calder and working in a telephone box there against the boundary line, and Jack Murphy will ball it up on that outer side. Near the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads South Croydon one behind, Norwood yet to score, and we've played almost 10 minutes here in this first term.
To answer your question, though, they're definitely on top there, Ben, around the ground. They are winning things, but they're just letting themselves down with some of their delivery inside 450 at the moment, but Norwood aren't helping with their disposal around the ground either. They probably have more turnovers around the ground to this stage.
So another stoppage as Rhett Jordan was held up. We're right near that boundary line. The ball comes down, breaking a tackle there nicely. There was Evan Johnson, got a little handball away. He was looking for Curtis Dunn, but the boundary line beats all players, and we'll have another throw in, still hovering around that Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads South Croydon leading it by 1 behind. That is the only score so far this afternoon. The knockdown by Armstrong went to no one in particular. The bottom man at the bottom of the pack was Daniel Coughlin for the Dogs, and will have a bounce once again. 10.5 minutes gone. Terrific day for local football out here today at Mullum Reserve. It's Johnson gets it on the second bite, got the knockdown. Quick little kick there by Evan Johnson, went only about a metre before it was quickly wrapped up nicely by Descent, who was quickly tackled. And we'll have a bounce about 65 metres out. In fact, a free kick has been plucked out here. It'll go the way of South Croydon, and now they go towards the half-forward line using the body very nicely. Was Johnson, gets a little handball away. Norwood will use the members' side. They haven't been doing that too much so far. Blackie takes the mark. He's been clever enough in this first 10 minutes of football, kicks it up towards the half-forward line, and a solid mark taken by Brad Callagher. The ex-Croydon boys working well together as the ball goes inside forward 50 up towards about 55 metres out from goal. Bouncing football right near that line. They might be able to get out of this, South Croydon. A stream of handballs finds Christinell. He sold some candy. In fact, it was Marshall on the left boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position. Getting down low was Brad Callagher. He got the little handball out. That was nicely done. Linking up nicely there. Cruzaratis got the handball away up towards centre half forward, and coming out and taking a very strong mark there was David Johnson. Swings around on the right boot. It was a solid kick and a great fly on the second bite. The mark has been taken there by David Trotter, 40 metres out from goal, and Norwood will have the first genuine chance, you would think, to put the first major through. Riley Beveridge.
Yeah, they've done really well in their defence. They've South Croydon monopolised the ball, but they haven't really penetrated yet. That's mostly down to the Norwood defence. They've thrown a couple of loose men back. Now they'll go forward and have a real first genuine shot on goal of the game.
So David Trotter, as we cross the 12-minute mark of the first term. He comes in now. It was a bit of a shank off the boot. It might not even make the distance, holding up in the breeze. It eventually filters through for 1 behind. So scores a level out here at Mullum Reserve. 12.5 minutes gone in the first term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So make sure you stay tuned to EFL Gameday right throughout the day, as we'll have scores from around the grounds with Will and Victoria. Molnar has got it in the back pocket. He's just assessing his options now. He goes across the opposite side of the ground. It's a dangerous kick. Might be a turnover in the end. Norwood kick it towards goal, and it might have it just might have gone off to the right-hand side through for another minor score. Norwood 2 behind. South Croydon 1 behind. We've played nearly 13 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Maddie van der Ark, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, just on the back of that turnover there, the turnover count is actually 12 for the game, so 6 apiece. So we're seeing a bit of a scrappy play in terms of accuracy of disposal.
So the ball drives into the middle of the ground in position A. Evan Johnson, well, no, there's a free kick being played to South Croydon.
Downfield.
It was downfield, was it? Why was it downfield?
Disposed of it. Disposed of the player rather than after the ball. He disposed of the ball. So.
Well, Carly got the handball off. Now South Croydon just popped the ball up towards centre half forward. It went into nobody's direction in particular, but they've still got the numbers. Handball goes out towards the hill direction. He's a solid rock in defence. Now it's with Jake Ford for Norwood. He drives the ball up towards the wing position. Standing strong there was English. Couldn't quite rip the mark down. Got the little handball away. That was okay. McBride, his kick was half smothered. There's a lot of fierce in this game early in the piece. Peter Baird, and over she goes for a boundary throwing right near the coach's box.
For a game that's been very free-flowing between the both teams attacking forward 50s, we haven't had a goal scored yet, but because that ball is rebounding, that turnover count that Matty spoke about is just too high. Teams need to work on their disposal efficiency.
Well, the McLaughlin got the knockdown for South Croydon, but the ball's drifted forward, and Newman takes the mark for Norwood, and now they'll be able to switch the play. David Blackie across the half-back line, takes one bounce, arches the back, kicks it up in towards the middle of the ground. There's the 3-on-2 situation. The 2's going to win out. Well done, South Croydon. The kick goes up towards the wing position. The umpire called play on after Jake Ford dropped what he probably should have taken. He just expected him to mark it. He nearly gave Christinell one in the back to go on with it as well. The umpire said it was fair, and we'll have a bounce right in front of us here on broadcast side wing position. There's a massive crowd down here. A huge day for the Norwood Football Club, with a few big announcements as well. As the umpire throws it up, charging through there was Evan Johnson. He got one high, so he's getting a lot of the ball early, Peter Baird.
They're working really well in defence at the moment, Norwood really teaming up well together. Guys like Johnson, Hill and English dropping back there to be the third man up.
Well, McBride got the handball away. This is good play. Zach Carroll now inside forward 50. It was a scrambling kick, went straight through the arms of Williams at the last line of defence. They need to have the numbers here, the Dogs. They need to have the poise, and they do. And Molnar's all by himself out across the half-back line. If he can take the mark and he can go on with with it now. This could be a good switch of play. He bounces the football once, sold some candy as well, goes in towards the middle of the ground. It was a risky kick, trying to take the mark there on the second bite. I think that was Nick Stone. In fact, it was Michael King on the... Got the little handball away. Oh, they're doing it hard here, Norwood, but they might be able to break through the tackle here. Johnson barged his way through. He got crunched and brought to ground, and we will have a ball up once again here on the members' side. True centre wing position is 15.5 minutes gone in the first term. 1 point the difference, the home side lead it.
Sparrow goes up in the ruck, couldn't quite get a clear, decisive tap towards a teammate. Carroll went in hard for Norwood, and we'll see another ball up.
What Damien Franken's doing very, very well here to shut down that Norwood offence is we know Norwood like to drop players back behind the ball. A lot of teams will send their opposition player down there with him and create congestion within their forward line. What Damien Franken's done is getting his defenders to hold their position within that Norwood forward line. So both teams have got loose men in defence, which is causing that ball to rebound between both teams' forward 50-metre arcs.
The Norsemen have advanced it a further 50 metres along the pavilion wing here on the broadcast side, and we'll see a boundary throw in. Beautiful day for footy. If you're not anywhere, make sure you head down to Mullum Reserve and take your radio dials with you as the Norsemen go inside forward 50 with the kick's gone out of bounds on the full, and South Croydon will look to rebound off their half-back line. Matty van der Arkus and early stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, just reminiscent of how the game's being played between the two ends. We've got clearances 6 to Norwood, 4 to Croydon, so look, it's fairly even.
Boundary line.
Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care to the wise man.
Yeah, look, what's obvious to us down here is that when South Croydon go forward, Norwood have the ability to block the corridor, whereas when Norwood go forward, South Croydon, look, the corridor's wide open for them.
Allen from half-back goes up towards wing position, was looking for Dan King, but standing in the way on that occasion was Blackie. He's had a fair bit of the ball early for Norwood. He'll launch this one inside forward 50. Big pack will fly. Big strong mark in front by the Norsemen, and they'll look to go back from almost directly in front and look to put through their first goal of the day.
That was a really strong pack mark there. That's exactly probably what they needed there. South Croydon are getting numbers back to create congestion within that Norwood forward line because Norwood are trying to do the same to them at the other end.
Lee Williams was the man. He's come back in recent weeks for the Norsemen. And Norwood Junior, he loves this club and he loves kicking a goal. And he finally puts through the first major of this game, 17.5 minutes into the first term. Norwood 1-2-8, South Croydon 1 behind on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. The beautiful electronic scoreboard. Speaking of the boundary, let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care, George Carl.
Boys, South Croydon are really using their interchange a lot heavier than the Norwood boys are. So I think a few sore legs already starting to happen there.
I'd like to ask Ray down there on the boundary side what the type of condition of the field is, but compared that side to this side, because it seems like the boys are enjoying playing on that side of the ground where you are a little bit more, Ray.
This side is far more dry, and there's not the patches that are churned up like there are on the grandstand side. There's no doubt about that. But the wind's picked up a little bit since the start of the game, going down to the end at Norwood are kicking at the moment.
So the ball's back in the middle of the ground. Sparrow will go up against Stevens. Stevens got that knocked down, but he wanted to go backwards towards the King direction. He might go after it now. The little handball comes out. In there trying to trap the football was McCubbin. The umpire will come in and bounce it as David Johnson was trying to run away with it. And we'll have a bounce almost on the cricket pitch out here at Mullum Reserve. Great to hear there might be a potential upgrade in coming months down here. Good story for the club. Trying to break through there was Fitzgerald. Goes after it again. He was wrapped up in a tackle. The umpire might come in and just stop this again, but good umpiring allows the ball to go on. The chances to get the ball out. Rhett Jordan couldn't do it, so eventually Pye will come in and bounce it about 70 metres out from the Norwood goals. They have the lead here by 7 points in the first term. We've almost crossed time on. EFL Gameday, we hope you are enjoying it as the umpire knocked it up again. There's about 30 players around this ball, and Norwood will kick the ball forward up towards the top of the goal square. Where's this ball going to bounce? It's a one-on-one situation at the fall of the ball. Little handball over the top. It might have even been called a throw, going backwards again. Stone comes in, he tries to rush it through, and eventually it paddles over as Williams tried to trap it. It was a fumbly football at best, only a couple of metres out from the line, but Norwood get the behind, and they move on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 1-3-9. It's an 8-point ball game out here at Mullum Reserve because South Croydon kicked the first point of the game and they haven't done anything since. Strawn
to himself from the kick out, goes long, and that's a poor kick in the end. Mark taken by Gold, and he'll look to send this one straight away back inside forward 50. He looks for his options now. He goes towards the left forward pocket. The kick is a little inaccurate, and it trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds. It'll be tossed back in 10 metres around from the Norwood goal.
Some smart play then from Stuart Hill, the Norwood captain, on that last four-way forward. He saw that South Croydon were outnumbering their Norwood forwards probably 3-2, so he actually drifted from half-back to make the other South Croydon defender accountable for him, drawing him away from the contest, which left Williams one-on-one.
Fitzgerald, Stone and Descent all combine across the defensive goal line. The kick, though, was pretty ordinary. Picked up by David Johnson. Spears it inside 50. It's a good kick as well. And I didn't write down who number 42 was, Ray, for Norwood. He did mention it just beforehand, but that man has got the ball about 30 metres out from goal. He'll look to square it. He goes to Evan Johnson. He can unload from 50. Evan Johnson, he's a good player. He unloads from 50 towards the top of the square. South Croydon will look to thump this through right on the last line of defence, and they do. And it's gone through for another minus score. Norwood 1-4-10. They've been doing all the peppering lately. South Croydon one behind. 20.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Ray Baird, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, both sides have got a number 42 that aren't on our list. For Norwood, it's Jack Cornwell, and for South Croydon, it's Sam Cooley, C-U-L-I.
Great stuff, grumpy old man, as the ball comes out towards the wing position. Now linking up McCubbin inside forward 50. They go towards the Williams direction. Got one little hand on it, but now South Croydon on the left boot. They go out towards the half back line. They've got the numbers out there, and the mark's been taken by Sam Cuthbert, who you'd expect to wait and weigh up his options on the left boot. Goes out wide. That was okay. They might want to move this ball back into the middle where they have some numbers here. The mark's been taken in there by Strawn. So just weighing up his options as well. So just slowing things a little bit down here at the moment. Switches the pass to Debney. Goes back towards the Strawn direction. On the right boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position. That was a beautiful pass. It was well weighted. Marshall takes the mark. His kick was an absolute shank up towards the half forward line. And over the boundary line she goes for a boundary throw in. About 70 metres out from the Croydon goals. They started off that passage of play well, but just disappointing kicks going up towards the inside 50, Pete.
It certainly was. What Norwood had done, they congested the hot spot 25 metres out directly in front of goal for South Croydon wide.
Great knockdown by Grattan Stevens to Donnell, who got the little handball off. Now South Croydon drive the ball very deep. Stuart Hill at the last line of defence gets a handball away. That was really good to Evan Johnson. Put his teammate under a lot of pressure. South Croydon might get another go at this. They might even receive a free kick about 40 metres out from goal, because getting down low and probably copping a pretty nasty one in the back, and we won't call it lucky because it was certainly there because he put his body over the line, and South Croydon will have a shot. I think it'll go to Steve Donnell, so 40 metres out from
It's
goal.
one of the Donnell boys. I couldn't quite pick it up.
So he'll have a shot, and it's a very important kick in the context of this game because we're near on quarter time. It's been very low scoring in this first term in EFL Gameday, Division 1. So they kick the first score of the game and they can reduce the margin to only 3 points here if Steve Donnell can put this goal through. He'll kick from about 45, 50 metres out. Distance won't be a problem. It's just the accuracy, and he pushes it through for one behind. It never looked good off the boot. South Croydon get their second on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 23 minutes gone, trailing by 8 points.
That's a disappointing kick there. Riley Beveridge really needed to do better with that one.
Yeah, he did. They're lacking that final pass inside 50. Norwood have been clean when they've gone inside their forward 50. South Croydon a bit sloppy when they've entered the forward half.
Kelleher kicks to himself, and a very high kick up towards the left half back flank, picked up though by David Johnson. The kick comes out to Jordan. He marks it half back. They've got some overlap here through English. Beautiful kick up towards half forward. Williams proceeds and marks. Williams feigns the kick and runs to about 55 metres. He goes long towards the goal square. Lee Williams just off to the left-hand side and through for another minus score. 1 goal, 1 on the board for Lee Williams. And that's another behind for Norwood. 1-5-11 South Croydon. 2 behinds. 23.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I'm wondering if Damien Franken's considering whether or not to man up on the likes of Hill, Blackie and English running forward off half back. Frosty mentioned it before. They're holding South Croydon really accountable by moving forward when they do travel through the corridor, and they've been really damaging going inside 50.
So the ball in the back pocket. The short pass is on. Osborne's there. He'll take it now. So 24 minutes gone here in the first term. There's probably still a minute or two left. Either side can get a score on.
Hasn't been much scoring, so you'd think it'd be a short quarter.
You certainly would, Riley. As the kick goes out towards the half-back line. Another good mark to South Croydon, another good mark to Ben Osborne. So he's covering a lot of meterage early in this piece. He's got a teammate on short in Fitzgerald if he wants to use him. Instead's to go towards the Marshall direction. Still across the half-back line, South Croydon. They're doing it slowly and they're doing it carefully, you would think. So Marshall drives the ball up towards the wing position. He's looking for Debney. He stands strong, but over the back, Jakey Ford got a little bit of a rise and he takes the mark. Quick to move the ball on. That's okay, Stuart Hill. He likes to use the hand, but he's a potent left foot kick if he can get behind it. Short options on as the siren goes. As Riley Beveridge said, we knew there wasn't too long left in this first term, and there was only one goal kicked in that quarter, and that went to the big forward, Lee Williams. Norwood at quarter time on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They lead.
With that quarter, Dennis?
Yeah, I thought we got control after probably at the first 10 minutes. Probably didn't convert quite well enough on the scoreboard, but yeah, we're happy to get the game back.
Thanks for your time, mate. Thanks, boys.
Ray Baird down there with Norwood coach
Short and
Dennis
sharp.
Knight. Short and sharp. And that's how both men roll, actually. Ray Baird, about as succinct as they possibly get in the
And
EFL
about as
Media
short
Team.
as they get as well.
And literally in height as well. Frosty, what's going to happen in his second term, and can South Croydon finally get some scoreboard power going?
As Dennis just alluded to just then, they started to get on top late in that term. And that was basically because their halfbacks were prepared to drift forward and make the South Croydon defenders accountable as Norwood took the ball forward.
Sorry.
See more of that this quarter.
Second term is underway out here at the Mullum Reserve, and the ball goes up towards half forward, and a nice mark's been taken by Del Judas for South Croydon. He brings it out towards the wing position.
Is that the correct pronunciation?
That's the correct pronunciation, as Del Judas goes up towards half forward. Allen was in front. Good fist away there by Frosty's man, Jake Ford. Comes to ground now. Allen picked it up, but couldn't quite get a clean possession off, but he might have been tackled illegally after he disposed of the footy. So Allen will receive the free kick. He's within scoring distance, I think. He's about 50 metres out from goal. He's a big kick, Blair Allen. He'll launch this one right to the top of the goal square. Who's going to fly? Stevens flew from behind on the second bite, couldn't get there. Marshall was there, a little zealous in his approach on the footy, and he's given away a free kick, and it will go the way of Evan Johnson, right in his defensive goal square for the Norsemen.
He's been very good early in this game, Evan Johnson, rebounding off half-back, providing plenty of drive for the Norsemen.
Johnson goes to English in the right back pocket here at Mullum Reserve. Norwood kicking to the right of your radio dial on this term. English goes towards a big contest. Johnson flew from behind. Oh, we know he loves to get high, David Johnson. He was a little over the top on that occasion, gave away a free kick, and Del Judas will be the recipient of the free kick. He'll slam it back towards the forward 50. Stevens on a long lead. Good fist came from the Norwood defence late on that occasion. Comes to ground though, and they'll look to bring it out of defence through Calder. His kick up towards the middle of the ground must have been a downfield free kick, so the Norsemen will be able to move this one forward. Umpire Morris Divinchentis gets it now. So the kick goes to English at true centering position. He marks and goes back and assesses his options. Such a strong man, Brent English.
He's a tank.
And he really has got a big presence in that Norwood midfield. He goes towards Jordan, who flew from behind, couldn't quite take the mark. Ball comes to ground now. Del Judas pounces on it. Comes out towards McCubbin. He got a high hit on that occasion, McCubbin. And just letting a few South Croydon players know about it as well. And a free kick will be going the way.
Oh, we got a card.
As well.
Yeah, a card will be going the way here of the Dogs. It's Nick Molnar who will be going off. And
Fair enough too then from Jack Murphy. Frontal head-high contact, that always should warrant a card according to the rules of the game.
so Molnar will go off the ground. The only disadvantage it is, though, for Norwood is that it's given South Croydon time to get back and just sort of set up a bit of a defensive structure. So McCubbin's got the ball right in front of us here on the broadcast position. He'll look to thump at this one inside 450. In the second term, 2.5 minutes gone. Norwood 11, South Croydon 2 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Victoria Halkeas.
No, Georgina Carl.
Oh, sorry. Victoria's sitting behind me. Sorry, George.
No worries, boys. South Croydon coach Damien Franken said that the boys really need to be a lot cleaner with the footy and make sure they're hitting players on the chest, and they're really wary of the Norwood boys dropping back into their forward 50.
Well, Trotter nearly got it in the mud, but it just completely stopped. So Marshall has the chance now for South Croydon to run it out of defence. The ball just completely clagged itself in the middle, and now through the middle of the ground, they'll be able to link up, you would expect here. And a good mark has been taken out there. Allen on the left boot, swings around now, kicks it up towards the Cuthbert direction. He takes the mark, he'll be able to take off as well. Probably didn't need to bounce it as soon as he did, but he did anyway. Kicked it up towards the centre half forward position. They've got numbers at the back. They go back towards Strawn. He arches it back. He gets to 50. He sets sail for goal and he pushes it all the way as well. But at the last line of defence, Norwood, they've got the numbers there, and a good mark has been taken out there by Paul Mascan. He knew where he needed to go, and he goes over the top to David Blackie now. And Norwood, they're still in the back pocket, but they move the ball up to centre half back. David Johnson takes the mark, and they'll look to probably switch the play here because English has created some space. Players further out wide in David Trotter if he wants to use him. Elects to go a little bit more direct towards the McCubbin direction. Over the back of the pack, done on the right boot, goes inside forward 50. That is textbook football. Coming out and taking a very strong mark is Lee Williams, and you'd expect the big forward to go back and kick his second from about 45.
Boundary.
that was all set up by very clean movement through the corridor, not allowing South Croydon the time to drop numbers back in front of Williams, which is what they did so very well in that first term.
Well, he's just come back into the side at the right time of the year, hasn't he, as Norwood? They've already had a ripper year at a player like Lee Williams into the side, and who knows what could happen from 50 metres out. He sets sail for goal, and the goal umpire does not move. That is his second and Norwood's second of the game. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they stretch their lead to 15 points. They are 2-5-17. South Croydon are only 2 behinds. It's 7 scoring shots to 2. But let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Ray Baird.
Look, just getting back to Dennis Knight at quarter time, what he said, he was very happy with the quarter. He thought they controlled most of the quarter. The only concern he had was that he thought that Steve Donnell was getting too much of the easy ball. But he did say to his players this quarter, don't worry about the muddy patch, but just out from the goal square, because he felt that South Croydon went around the wings to avoid it.
Armstrong went up in the ruck. He got the tap down to English, just starting to assert his dominance on the game. He's immediately wrapped up. The secondary ball up will occur. Matty van der Arcus, some stats that matter early in this second term thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, and probably the big one there's been the free kicks. We've had 3 awarded to Norwood and 2 to South Croydon, but that all-important yellow card against South Croydon. So that is the big one at the moment.
So secondary ball up occurs. We'll get a third one as players converge in the footy in the middle of the ground.
I like the move of Lee Williams staying as a deep stay-at-home full forward there, allowing plenty of space in front of him. We actually see there David Franklin dropping a loose man back, trying to fill that hole now in front of Lee Williams. Obviously worried about it himself.
It's exactly what South Croydon are lacking at the moment as well. A really big key forward. Norwood can just bomb the ball forward if they need to, if they don't have an option, whereas South Croydon has got a small forward line.
Dale Bull tried to stampede his way through that one, but to no avail. We'll see a fourth ball up in the middle. It looks like we're going to get a fifth one as umpire Jack Murford just swoops like a seagull on that footy, just like a few of the people here in the EFL Gameday caravan at quarter time wanting some alum snakes. As Jack Murford now will throw this one up. Hopefully we'll get a clearance out of this one. Stevens tries to thump it further forward. Muscant pounced on it though. Comes out to Carley though for South Croydon. They're off and running on the outer wing. If it sits nicely for Glenn Strawn, he's in business. Strawn picks it up now. Couldn't quite escape the grasp of his Norwood opponent in Stewie Hill, the standing captain for Norwood today, and the ball trickles over the boundary line, and we'll see it tossed back in about 70 metres out from South Croydon's goal. The Dogs still yet to kick a major, and we are 6.5 minutes into the second term here on EFL Game Day. Norwood 17 lead, South Croydon 2. Ball comes out here for the Norsemen, but South Croydon have the numbers. Minot came through, got it to Carley, just throws on the left boot. And probably wasn't the best option in the end, and it goes out of bounds on the full. Probably would have been best just to somehow rush it over for a boundary throw-in. So Evan Johnson will be the recipient. He brings it inboard. The mark taken by Blackie, about 20 metres out from his own defensive goal.
He's been great.
He has started quite well. He switches across his own defensive goal square. Mark taken by Newman. Sets up Muscant here with a nice releasing hand pass. Muscant goes up towards the wing. It's a good kick as well. Mark taken by Frosty's man forward. He goes inboard to Muscant. Now he releases a player in Calder off half back. Calder goes up towards the half forward line. On a long lead here is Jordan. And he takes a strong mark just right near the boundary line. He's about 60 metres out from his own goal. He needs to move it on quickly because South Croydon will get numbers back. Jordan goes long towards the goal square. David Johnson from behind. Strong mark, and he'll go back from almost directly in front. I don't think it is David Johnson.
I think it's McCubbin.
It's McCubbin who'll go back from almost directly in front and look to put through Norwood's third goal for the game.
They moved that ball quickly off half back, which is very important. It's what South Croydon have lacked. If you're playing a counter-attacking game, you can't afford your opposition to get numbers back, and Norwood are moving the ball quickly, not allowing South Croydon to do that.
McCubbin played the majority of this season in the seniors. He's booted 13 for the season. Make that 14 just. The umpire did a little bit of dancing, and Zach McCubbin puts through his first and Norwood's third on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Norwood 3-5-23, South Croydon 2 behinds. 8 minutes gone here in the second term. The fossil, Ray Baird, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Look, Giorgio and I would both just agree that South Croydon, they look very slow and they look very tired, boys. So maybe the 3 hard games they've had over the last 3 weeks have certainly starting to pay their toll.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I reckon it's their disposal going forward that's really letting them down. Norwood prepared to work harder going both ways, dropping numbers back in defence and really hitting them on the counter-attack. That cleaner disposal moving forward is really paying rewards for Dennis Knight's men.
They really need the next goal. The South Croydon Football Club. Dan King went in really hard. He got tumbled over. He probably nearly could have received a free kick, but the umpire said it was fair. So a restart in the middle of Mullum Reserve. Second quarter gone, almost 9 minutes. So Armstrong made his way to the front. Kick goes up towards the half-forward line there for Norwood. They couldn't quite get a handle on it, but that's okay because coming out, Descent got a little handball out, but teammate was under a lot of pressure and will have a bounce. Just inside the centre square, almost centre half forward for the Norwood Football Club. Stevens Really good knockdown there. Came out towards the Carley direction. He had to break a tackle. The umpire said he got rid of it and then he was held without it afterwards. So he'll receive the free kick just inside the centre square, Carley. Switches the play now. That's okay. Mark has been taken out there by Debney. Geez, he put himself under a lot of pressure, didn't he? But he might get another chance to go after it again. He did. He got the handball out. That's okay. McLaughlin will go backwards to go forwards. And now the Doggies will move up towards the half-forward line and kick the ball inside forward 50. A little bit of holding going on inside. The umpire didn't see it at the fall of the ball. The umpire might pay advantage here. Zippy King into the goal square. Open goal coming up for Blair Allen, and he pokes it through. And that is the goal that they were after, Peter Baird. Blair Allen just sneaking down into the forward 50, top of the goal square all by himself, as easy as you like. To Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 10-minute mark of the second term. South Croydon are 1-2-8, but they're trailing by 15 points. Norwood 3-5-23.
Yeah, Blair Allen then taking a leaf out of what the Norwood defenders book's doing from the wing, drifting forward, then creating that extra man on that far side of the ground. So by doing that, they had the extra number then. The Norwood defenders obviously didn't pick that up, went to the contest. Allen all alone, able to slot the goal. So that's a little bit smart play. You've got to be smart when you're playing against a team like Norwood, because if you become predictable, they will expose you because they're very good readers of where the ball's going to.
Well, back in the middle here as umpire Morris Steven-Chentis says play on as players converge in the footy, and to no avail. Let's go to Maddie Vantarakis with some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, and with South Croydon getting that last goal there, they've really tightened up on the inside 50s. So it's 4 to Norwood and now 5 to South Croydon.
Grattan Stevens went up in the ruck as Bull tries to stampede his way through, but to no avail. And umpire Morris Steven-Chentis is able to ball this one up here. Let's go to Victoria Halkias for the first time today. She's got all the scores around the grounds. Vic?
Afternoon, I've got some Division 1 scores for you. Noble Park hold a 3-point lead over Balwyn, 2-3-15 to 1-6-12. Blackburn have a 22-point lead over East Ringwood, 5-1-31 to 1-3-9. Lilydale have a 28-point lead over Scoresby, 5-6-36 to 1-2-8. Roeville have a 21-point lead over Knox, 3-6-24 to 5 behinds, and Vermont have a 24-point lead over East Burwood.
Great work, Vic, as Norwood have been able to bring this ball around the outer side. Free kick was won by McBride on that occasion, but Cornwall saw it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Let's get some Division 2 scores. We'll just get the margins instead of the full-time score. What are some of those margins in Division 2 at quarter time?
Bayswater have a 5-point lead over Doncaster East. Donvale have an 11-point lead over North Ringwood. Montrose have a 19-point lead over Waverley Blues. Mooroolbark have a 20-point lead over Mulgrave, and Croydon have an 18-point lead over Upper Fenchurch Gully.
Donvale with a little bit of a lead over North Ringwood there. Let's, while we've got a stoppage in play on the true centre-wing position, let's go to Division 3.
Sorry, I'm losing my piece of paper here. Doncaster's got a 22-point lead over Warrandyte. Glen Waverley have a 27-point lead over Chenside Park. Boronia have a 4-point lead over Mitcham. Wanturna South has an 11-point lead over Whitehorse. Heathmont have a 16-point lead over Ringwood, and the Basin have an 18-point lead over Templestowe.
Pretty tight around the EFL grounds so far, and of course we're only one quarter down, still plenty of footy to go. And while we've got another stoppage galore at the moment, let's get some Division 4 scores.
Park Orchards have a 4-point lead over Sylvan. Nunawading has a huge lead over Surrey Park at 36 points. Eastern Lions have a 22-point lead over Coldstream. Forest Hill have a 4-point lead over Kilsyth, and South Belgrave have a huge lead over Fenchurch Gully of 48 points.
Yeah, unbelievable. I saw that tweet from Braden come through, and we'll try and talk to Braden at half-time as the ball's now being chipped around South Croydon's back line. Speaking of South Belgrave, South Croydon's back line, but they weren't able to quite get clean possession. And we will see a ball up here as umpire Morris Steven-Chentis is calling for it. He stood on the ball, just trying to get some, a little bit of passiveness, I suppose you could say, in the defensive goal.
Here comes a card.
Yeah, a yellow card will be given, I think, to a Norwood player. I think it's Trotter who's going off, so it's a bit of a big loss for the Norsemen so far. So the Dogs will receive a free kick in their defensive 50. It will be Carley who will receive the free kick as we just wait for Trotter to leave the ground now. If you're just joining us here on EFL Gameday, it's Norwood 3-5-23. Leading South Croydon 1-2-8. And we've played 13.5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. In fact, it was Debney who brought it in short to Allen. This is right down the guts here of Mullum Reserve. And if it sits in business here for the Dogs, they'd be away. But it comes out to Carroll, though. McBride and Jordan shared it across half-back. They go back to go forwards, and the kick will come out here towards the true centering position and gold marks. He goes up towards English, and he slides in.
He's been good.
And he does take the mark. He's been very good in this second term in particular, Brent English. He assesses his options now and hasn't got a lot on long, so he'll just thump it and hope more than anything else. Williams from behind couldn't quite take the mark. Comes to ground. Cornwell tries to barrage his way through. Right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Umpire says, get to me, gentlemen. We'll see a ball up. Norwood 23, lead South Croydon 8, 4.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast of EFL Game Day. Right in front of us here, Steve Donnell got the little handball out towards Chris Donnell on the right boot. The umpire said it was advantage paid. Deep kick inside forward 50. Guess who? Zippy King. He loves his position. He needs to bounce it through, and it didn't wrong it enough for him. And it goes through for one behind. He probably should have gone for the old traditional snap instead of trying to dribble that one through. A bit of a let off there for Norwood. Croydon get their third behind on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 15-minute mark. It is the Doggies trailing by, well, 14 points.
I think you've got a serious man crush on Zippy King, Ben Waterworth.
Certainly does, as the ball comes back into play now for Norwood. They use that far side of the ground near the angry man of the EFL. Who's going to take the mark here? And well, Norwood have, and it's a very strong one too as the kick goes up towards the Williams direction. He's come all the way out from goal. Running into space is Jordan. The kick just has to hit the target at the top of the square. That's how you sneak down and kick a goal. Norwood get the answer, and Norwood kick their fourth on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 15.5-minute mark. It is 4-5-29, playing 1-3-9. Quick answer by Norwood. They're playing pretty well.
The game really opened up for them then. Riley Beveridge hitting them on the counter. They had numbers everywhere. South Croydon very disorganised, unable to get numbers back and man up.
Yeah, again, much quicker as well of half-back. That's why they're doing. They're counter-attacking really quickly, and it's not allowing South Croydon to track those markers from half-back, and that's exactly what Rhett Jordan did there. Moved forward and kicked a pretty easy goal from the goal line.
The other real concern at the moment for Damien Franken is Stuart Hill and Evan Johnson are both trying to create that loose man across half-back. You can see young Liam Fitzgerald being drawn in and out of the contest in two minds whether to go and man up Stuart Hill or go in and try and help out around stoppages.
Sparrow went up in the ruck, couldn't get a decisive tap to a teammate. We'll see another ball up. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care. Raymond.
Look, one of the big differences we see down here on ground level is that South Croydon are very wary how they're delivering the ball, whereas Norwood, if they haven't got an option, they just kick it high and they're out marking South Croydon.
Great work, Ramo, all thanks to Akira Urgent Care as Murfitt has, umpire Jack Murfitt, I should say, has paid a free kick here to the Dogs. And they'll look to bring this one out through Chris Donnell. Umpire Morris DiVincenzo has in fact paid another extra 25 metres here to Chris Donnell. So this will further advance them, but has given time for Norwood to get back. The short chipping ball was looking for a teammate, but it was nicely chopped off by Gold for Norwood, and they're away on that outer side. The kick goes out towards Kelleher. He marks true centering position right in front of Ray and George, 25. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care. And Morris has pulled out another 25-metre penalty.
He's all over it today.
He's all over it, Morris.
Look at me, Morris DiVincenzo.
Loves the Division 1 limelight as the Italian one himself, as Kelleher's further advanced. Another 25 metres right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads Norwood 4-5-29 to South Croydon 1-3-9. Kelleher looks like he's going to almost have a shot here. The kick from about 55 metres out from goal. Kelleher unloads from 55. It's just up to the right and it's thumped through over the boundary line and out of bounds. It'll be tossed back in 10 metres around from goal. So I hope you're enjoying the call on EFL Game Day.
Their ball movement makes them look very, very quick and slick, Norwood, when they're able to create that loose man on the opposite side of the ground, switch up. And it's obviously their game plan that Dennis Knight's instituted, very reminiscent of Noble Park of the early 2000s when, coincidentally enough, Dennis Knight was their senior coach as well.
And by Jack Murfitt put out a free kick here to the Dogs, and Debney goes off with a handball to Strawn, and they're up and running on the outer side. Short chipping ball over the top towards the advantage of Marshall. Nicely thumped away, though, by Sparrow, playing his 100th game for the Norsemen today. Sparrow did really well, paddled it towards Kelleher's advantage, right in front of the Norwood coaching box. Kelleher goes on the left boot inside 50. Stone with Williams there. 3-on-1 against Williams on that occasion. It comes down to Grattan Stevens, playing as loose man in defence. Allen picks it up and goes up towards the wing position. A bit of a height disadvantage there with Sparrow going up and easily winning that free kick against Mallison. So Sparrow goes inboard. Mark taken by Zachy Carroll. Carroll now looking for men inboard. Pretty ordinary kick. It was smothered off the boot in the end. Carroll goes back for a second shot. Was looking for Marskant. He'll get a third opportunity, Carroll, because he was pushed in the back after he disposed of it. He got a hand pass now to Muscan. He goes in ball towards Calder. Dangerous kick, but Calder was up to the task. He marked it cleanly. He goes onto the left foot up towards the half-forward line, and running is Muscan. He's worked really hard. In fact, it's McBride. McBride goes in towards the middle of the ground. Mark dropped, though, but true centre half-forward by Stone allows Norwood to possibly still have an opportunity to go towards goal. They're immediately wrapped up, and umpire Jack Murphy will ball this one up 40 metres out from Norwood's goal. Norwood 29, lead South Croydon 9. We've played 19 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Stevens, uncontested, won it down. Evan, in fact, it's Jakey Ford round the body. Frosty, stand up. Jakey Ford puts it through for Norwood, and they have booted the 5 goals, 5-35. South Croydon 139, 19 and a half minutes gone. Second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Frosty, I can see, even though I can't see you, I know you're grinning from ear to ear.
One of my favourites, your little Jakey Ford, loves to give a bit of cheek out there, and just read that tap beautifully then from the opposition ruckman, Grattan Stevens, went straight into his hands and then unloaded there without even looking, knew where the goals were. Fantastic play from one of my boys.
It's almost like it was a set play, wasn't it, that the ruckman didn't go up in the forward line for Norwood. 35 plays 9, almost time on here in the second term. Stevens got the knockdown. They need a quick answer, the doggies. They need something. The ball hits the deck, and we'll have a bounce about, well, just inside the centre square. Molnar's come back onto the ground after his yellow card, so he's been thrown right back amongst it. Pyer goes up again now. Bit of shepherding being paid. Grattan Stevens will be the recipient for the Dogs. Gets a quick handball out. That's okay. Strawn on the right boot goes inside forward 50, using his body very nicely. Minogue, and the umpire's paid it too because it looked like there might be a two-hand push there, but the umpire said it was fair. Boundary. And he'll have a shot on goal about 50 metres out. And Ray Baird has some comments from boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
There was certainly 2 hands right in the back of the player then.
Stewie Hill letting the umpire Morris Stevens seems to know all about it as well.
Having a good day, Morris, isn't he?
Playing his 7th game for the season. Justin Minogue, very important kick for South Croydon. It's a good-looking kick off the boot. Is it going to stay straight right to the goal line, bouncing through for one behind? So not what the Doggies were after there, but they'll take any score they can get at this point. 21 minutes gone in the second term. They are 1-4-10. It's a 25-point ball game. 5-5-35 is Norwood.
So Alex Calder will bring this one in, and make sure you stick around for the Pie Shed halftime show in a couple of minutes. We will bring you all the around the ground scores from around EFL grounds. As Calder,
best pie in local football.
Because Calder prepares to bring this one in, he'll go towards the half back line. Hill 1-on-1. Stevens went up, big fly, couldn't quite bring it down cleanly, but South Croydon had the numbers at the fall of the ball. Jake Ford went in hard, laid a big tackle, and he forces the ball up right on true centre wing position. Matty Vanzarakis, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, just on that exact topic, the tackles, we've got Norwood leading 14 to Croydon's 13, so a lot of stoppages this quarter.
Lots of
comment on the pies then, Matty.
Lots of stoppages as Minogue brings it out to Dan King, working a telephone box there. Dan King been pretty quiet this term. Steve Donnell spearing ball inside 50. Strong set of dukes shown there by Molnar, and he'll go back from on a 45-degree angle, about 45 to 50 metres out, to look to put through South Croydon's second goal.
Redemption time.
So Nick Molnar, he's an outstanding player. He's been a great player with the Dogs for a long time. He's played all 15 games for South Croydon this year. 7 goals to his name for 2013. Let's see if he can make it 8. Big kick here for the Dogs. From 50 metres out, he'll unload Nick Molnar. It starts right. It won't make the will make the distance, but it still stays right, and it goes through for another minus score. 1-5-11 South Croydon, Norwood 5-5-35. 22.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's cross down to Ray Baird, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
One thing I've noticed here with the rotations for Norwood, boys, Brent English has been on and off the ground probably 5 times during this game, but he's only off for 30 seconds. The coach talks to him, and he's straight back on, so he's a very important player to them.
Great work, Sneezy, as Allen gets the handball out. They might do okay here. Minogue got it over towards the Osborne direction. In fact, it was Steve Donnell. He brings it across on the right boot, but he couldn't quite keep it in. He probably would have liked a boundary throw in there. Out of bounds on the full as she goes.
He's one of the 7 little dwarfs, though, isn't he?
They're butchering their chances going inside 50, South Croydon. They desperately need next goal. Kick 1 for the half in a low-scoring game to be 24 points down at half-time is a big margin to come back from after the interval.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a big ask, but it is Division 1 and scoring can happen quite quickly. Only 4 goals is the margin. At least we've seen probably a rise in effort by South Croydon in the last 6 or 7 minutes or so as the ball drifts out towards the half-back line. Minot comes in. He's getting a little bit of in this second term, especially late. He takes the mark. Short passes on. Getting down very low is Daniel King, and it just fell in his lap, and he'll have a shot from about 40 metres out from goal. I tell you what, when you need a goal and you need someone with a bit of class to get the job done for you, Daniel King is the man.
Captain's goal coming up shortly, Frosty. Hopefully.
Yeah, needs to kick this goal. They've had probably the better of the last 2 or 3 minutes, South Croydon. Haven't got reward for effort. This is a really important kick on the verge of half-time.
Had a super first quarter, had a super season, had a super career, just kicked a captain's goal, and he makes no mistake, straight over the goal umpire's head. That's South Croydon's second for the afternoon, and they reduce the margin back to 18 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 24 minutes gone, 5-5-35 Norwood, 2-5-17 South Croydon.
I don't think Norwood would mind that too much, them having shots from about the 50-metre arc. I think they're not really penetrating at the moment. They're getting loose marks out at around 40-50 metres out. And I think as far as opportunities go, I don't think Norwood would be too disappointed with that at the moment. They're not really penetrating as much as they'd like.
Ball back in the middle, and before we get this one underway, pretty tight game between the two big boys of Division 1, Baldwin and Noble Park, with Baldwin 4-8-32 leading Noble Park 2-5-17. And we'll bring you up to date with all the scores from that game right throughout the day, as we're going to see a secondary ball up in the middle. At half-time, we'll be going, as always, to Clint Stanaway in the 9 newsroom. And we'll also be going to Braden Ingram with a big story brewing out at Ferntree Gully Reserve today. South Belgrave just showing why they are the premier team in Division 4 at the moment, as players converge from both sides in the middle of the ground, and we'll see another ball up. In fact, there's the siren to signal half-time here at Mullum Reserve. Norwood 5-5-35 leading South Croydon 2-5-17. The juniors of Norwood make their way out because it's time to have a kick on Mullum Reserve. In goal kickers so far in this game, 1 to Jake Ford, 1 to Zach McCubbin, 1 to Rhett Jordan, and 2 to Lee Williams. 24, and Roval lead Knox by 10 points. As we're all set for a start here in the third quarter. Umpire gets it underway. Umpire Jack Murphy. Stevens went up in the ruck. Got it down to Molnar. Molnar's hand pass was intercepted, though, by Gold. Norwood go deep inside. 450. Kelleher's going to run onto this one. He gets a little hand pass over the top. Socket off the ground by McCubbin. It's just gone off to the left-hand side, though. Probably had a little bit more time than what he thought. There's Zach McCubbin on that occasion. And it goes through for a minus score. Norwood go on to 5-6-36. South Croydon 2-5-17. Opening stages, third quarter. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Osborne goes short. What can the Dogs muster in this second half? Hopefully they can really make a game of it. They drive the ball up to about centre-half back now, linking up nicely. In the middle, Dan King got the handball back to 1-2. That was nicely by Debney. Now up towards centre-half forward. The kick was a little bit too strong. Bouncing football up towards the centre-half forward line. Going in hard nicely. There was Calder. He got the handball away. They might get out of this because Blackie's made some space out on the far side of the ground, which is actually the close side to the ground. And the bounces are really wronging for him, and over the boundary line she goes, right in front of the members here out at Norwood. It's a ripper crowd out here today. I'm actually really impressed. The Doggies, traditionally they've always been a really good travelling faithful, and especially scenes they're right up amongst them, maybe playing finals. They're all here today. Molnar, he had a bit of a fresh air shot over the top. Blackie gets a little handball out. That was okay. Went back towards Evan Johnson. He went backwards again, breaking a tackle and going forward. Norwood kick into the middle of the ground. That was okay. McBride takes the mark. He wants to take off, switches it now towards centre half forward. They've got players all alone there in Dunn. He might be able to take off here. Dunn. He does now on the right boot. Kicks it up towards the Williams direction over the back of the pack there. That was okay. Dal DeJuice, he got the handball. Dal DeJudas, he got the handball away. South Croydon might have the numbers here, charging through. Norwood, snap on goal. This might actually have gone through. That's an absolute ripper kick on goal by Norwood. They've put the first through for the second half. In fact, the umpire's come back and paid a free kick, has he? No, the umpire's waved the flag, so a goal on the board to Norwood to open this second half. Fantastic bit of play, Riley Beveridge.
Yeah, it was a pretty good play. I'm just wondering if it's worth South Croydon maybe throwing Nick Grattan into the forward line. They needed a different bit of variation there, I thought, in the first half. And I've just seen then Grattan just couldn't chase down when Norwood breaking forward quickly in the forward half. I'm just not sure what his use is at the moment if they are playing that running game off half back, because they're not bombing long, so he's not a loose man or anything like that.
Some early stats, Maddie, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, look, guys, inside 50s, 2 to Norwood, 1 to South Croydon, reflective of the first goal scored by Norwood.
Well, the mark's been taken here by the Dogs on the edge of the centre square. It's Osborne, the veteran, and he goes out wide looking for a teammate right in front of Damien Franken's coaching box out there. Long kick up towards centre wing position looking for Crowley. Had to beat two players, and Norwood just stump it over the boundary line and out of bounds. True centre-wing position.
Norwood are very good at getting numbers back to create a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2.
Nice to see Peter Baird broadcasting outside the Caravan today on 98.1 FM. Armstrong went up in the ruck, tapped it down towards Jordan. He fed it out towards Evan Johnson, but that was all within a 2-metre radius. And we will see another ball up. Plenty of stoppages today, as you'd expect between these two teams. Genuinely not high-scoring teams, like to shut the ball and the game down as much as they can. Evan Johnson tries to barge his way through, but Jack Murphy crosses himself. We'll see another ball up. 3.5 minutes gone. Norwood 6-6-42, leading South Croydon 2-5-17. Grattan Stevens over the top, tapped it down. Dan King immediately wrapped up by English. Fourth ball up in the matter of about a minute.
Hello.
So plenty of scores going on around the EFL at the moment. We'll keep you up to date with that. Grattan Stevens again going up. Dunn was in there. Stevens tackled by Evan Johnson. And that is a ball up will occur. I'll bring you up to date with some scores now. Park Orchards leads Sylvan by 13 points. Nunawading leads Surrey by 17 points. So a bit of a comeback there by the Surrey Park Panthers. Eastern Lions lead by 24 points over Coldstream in Division 4 as the ball is back into play and Jack Murphy crosses himself again. Wanturna South 51 lead Whitehorse 26. Heathmont lead Ringwood by 11 points and the Basin lead Templestowe by 15 points. Doncaster by 42 over Warrandyte. Glen Waverley currently lead by 58 points at the moment over Churnside Park. Baronia 5-5-35 lead Mitcham 4-6-30. So an interesting game going on there. Murrelbach by 18 points over Mulgrave. Croydon lead Upper Ferntree Gully very convincingly at the moment, 53-6. As Gold comes out from the stoppage finally after about 6 ball-ups in a row. Comes out now, but it's pounced upon by the Dogs. Strawn goes with a high right foot kick up towards the half-forward line. If it sits for Allen, he's in business. It did not sit for Blair Allen. It took it over the boundary line and out of bounds. In Division 1, Scoresby lead Lilydale by 8 points. Roval lead Knox by 11 points. Vermont lead East Burwood by 48 points. Baldwin lead Noble Park by 3 points. And Blackburn leads East Ringwood by 27 points.
So the kick goes up towards the wing position here, going in very hard, both players. Blackie comes in to kick it off the ground. The umpire's paid a free kick. It'll go the way of Norwood. They might get the advantage here because Evan Johnson was on with it. The faithful didn't like that one because the umpire said bring it back. And it'll be Dale Bull on the left boot. Goes up towards the half-forward line. That's a good kick. Evan Johnson, who was some player that went on with it, found some space, goes inboard. That's good. Maskin, he's come down from half-back, gets his kick half smothered, but up there for support there was Jordan. He bangs it on the boot, drives the ball inside forward 50 to the top of the goal square. Who's going to have the numbers at the fall of the pack? Debney gets the handball away. That was okay. Del Judas now on the right boot. He'll get it out of the danger zone for South Croydon, and they'll try to bounce the ball out from half-back with Robbie Mallison. So creating an option there is Cuthbert. He might go to that direction. He does so. That was a good lead. Swing around on the left boot, no doubt. Descent on a further switch if he wants to use him. Instead decides to go further out wide. So right in front of the Croydon interchange bench, and Damien Franken will no doubt be wanting his Chargers to lift at least 25% in this third quarter, if not more. Currently trailing by a fair old margin too, just over 4 goals as the kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Getting down nicely down there was Crowley, took the mark, got the handball on. The kick goes inside forward 50. Lovely mark taken there by Blair Allen, very close to the ground, very close to the boundary line, but he's a clever enough player to go back and put this one through. A kick from 45 metres out, very acute angle.
Still pushed very wide as they went forward then, South Croydon. They need to straighten up a little bit, try and hit that hot spot about 30 metres out from the goal within the central corridor, but it's hard to kick goals from out these pockets.
Well, the last time we called him in a radio game, he slotted 5 majors, and he seems to be coming up with a 25-metre penalty here. I'm not too sure if you saw that, Riley Beveridge.
I didn't see it, but it's to the goal square. I know that's longer than 25, so I think it's actually a...
downfield free kick?
Yeah, it's not even a 25, it's a downfield free kick.
So South Croydon, no doubt, from point-blank range. The free kick goes to the big man, Grattan Stevens, so possibly a little bit of holding was happening at the top of the goal square. So South Croydon, important kick on goal, and no doubt no mistake will be made, and Grattan Stevens kicks his first of the afternoon. South Croydon get their third on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard and reduce the margin back to 19 points. 42 plays 23 at the 7.5-minute mark.
Told you they should put him forward.
Yeah, exactly right. That's why you're on the special comments today, mate. And, well, instant impact, Ben Waterworth.
Well, Grattan Stevens has certainly been one of South Croydon's best right throughout the 2013 season, can play anywhere on the ground, including up forward, Riley Beveridge. Let's go to get some stats that matter, thanks to Matty Vantherakis.
Yeah, look, guys, off the back of that free kick, we've got one apiece this quarter, but that last one coming to South Croydon, the one that Matt gifting them the goal.
He's just a bit of a presence, Grattan Stevens, down there, and that's what he offers them. He might not take the big marks every time, but at least he offers them presence, and that's what daunted Norwood then.
Back in the middle, it's Norwood by 19 points here at Mullum Reserve. Blackie put his head over the footy, as did Carly. Carly went in and did well to force the ball up in the end, and umpire Jack Murford says, "Give it to me, gentlemen." We will see a ball up in the middle of Mullum Reserve.
He reminds me of Shaggy off Scooby-Doo. He's maybe a little bit unorthodox, but always gets the job done.
He's a good guy, is young Steve Carley. As Stevens, beautiful tap down to Del Judas. He thumps it inside 50. Zippy's at the fall of that ball, but he was held off the contest. And Stewie Hill came in and took a pretty convincing and easy mark in the end. He goes out wide to Blackie, who marks right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Blackie goes up towards half forward. English has to beat 3 South Croydon players. Probably a good result in the end for the Norsemen, because it trickled over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of McLaughlin. So we'll hear plenty of around the ground scores throughout the quarter. Make sure you don't adjust your radio dial. Is just confirming South Belgrave lead Ferntree Gully by 78 points at half-time. A big margin brewing there. The ball trickles inside 50 here for the Norseman. Comes out to Bull. His kick was smothered. This is all about 50 metres out from goal for the Norseman. And umpire Jack Murphy. I just wonder how many times he's crossed himself today. Would be a lot. He will throw this ball up 50 metres out from Norwood's goal. They lead this one by 19 points, the Norsemen, but the Dogs have kicked 2 of the last 3 goals. Stevens in the ruck with Spurrell. No player able to get a decisive tap. And South Croydon calling for holding the ball. And Jack Murford says no, that's certainly not happening, as Evan Johnson arises from the pack. And I had the binoculars on Evan Johnson then. He's got a bit of a cut on his right eye, so he's coming off the ground for a blood rule. So wherever you are in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, hope you're enjoying the call on 98.1. Norwood 6-6-42 leading South Croydon 3-5-23. We played almost 10 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Sunshine galore today around the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Actually, stick around tonight after 5 p.m. for the 5 to 6 p.m. BGC Bayswater post-match show with Barry Kotz, Paul Simmercedes and Mitch Wood, a late inclusion, will do a fine job. English from the stoppage. Kicks it around the body, half smothered off the boot, but a nice thump forward there by Gold towards the advantage of Gould, but it's picked up though by Dan King, and they might be away here, the Dogs. Strawn tucks the ball under the arm and drills it up towards the half-forward line. Here's the zip. King marks now, Michael King up towards the half-forward line. The kick is good to Mallison, and Robbie Mallison takes the mark about 45 metres out from goal. He wastes no time, Robbie Mallison, from 50 metres out towards goal. Mallison couldn't quite get there in the end. Muscat marks the last line of defence, and Norwood will look to bring it away.
They certainly will, Ben. As the kick goes out towards the Gould direction, he takes it. He'll swing back on the right boot. Pardon me, kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. 2 Dogs went after it. The umpire said it was a little bit too crude, and the free kick will go to Dale Bull. Drew centre wing position. Options presenting. The short ones are on. Dogs have definitely got numbers going back. Spurrell takes the mark, gets a little handball on. That was okay. McCubbin had to get the handball back to Spurrell, but he wasn't quick enough. Coming in there now nicely there. Cuthbert got the handball away, but Spurrell scoops on it on the left boot, drives the ball up towards the half-forward line. Bouncing football. Del Judas sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. I must apologise. I was calling him Del DeGici in the last radio broadcast game. I thought I had the lingo perfect. Exactly, that's what I was after, as the umpire throws the ball back in now. No clear target there. McLaughlin, he was the one that went up for it. The umpire will come in and have another stoppage. It's about 55 metres out from the Norwood goal lines. They're looking for an answer here, Peter Baird.
They need to try and get some sort of scoreboard pressure on Norwood here. Norwood is dictating the terms in which the game's being played at, really controlling the tempo at the moment.
Well, I really think that South Croydon have lifted a gear, that's for sure. As a kick by Dale Bull swings around inside forward, 50 towards the Williams direction. He couldn't quite get it. Blackie at the fall of the ball. He was quick to get it. He nearly threw that away. The umpire said it was fair. McLaughlin comes in. He'll go for the 1-2. He'll handball over the top. Grattan Stevens is there to lend some support. His handball went to absolutely no one. Stolen upon by Bull. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Bouncing football. The first person to meet it was Jordan. He had players right on his hammer in Del Judas, and over the boundary line she goes, about 20 metres out from the Norwood goal line.
Matty Vantherakis, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, what's really evident in this quarter is that Norwood's getting first hand on the ball, and that's resulting in South Croydon's tackle margin to greatly outweigh that of Norwood's. They're leading it 12-6.
Del Judas to descent, back to Del Judas, got the clearing kick out towards the Mascant direction. He was the first player to meet it. You felt he wanted the safety of the boundary line, and he received it as well. So over she goes for a boundary throw in. It's about 80 metres out from the Norwood goal line. They're leading this game by a touch over 3 goals. 19 points is the margin. We have crossed 13 minutes in this term. They'll get another chance here. Blackie was on the receive, but he couldn't quite get it. Muskin at the bottom of the pack, brilliantly wrapped up in a tackle. The umpire's not going to ping anyone. It was all fair, and we'll have a bounce as we cross down boundary side, thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Ray Baird.
That blood rule with Evan Johnson coming off the ground a few minutes ago, boys. He's got a huge cut above his right eye. It looks like they're actually stitching it or putting clamps on it.
Great stuff, Ray. The umpire throws it up. No clear knockout that time, but it came down to the way of Strawn. His kick was smothered, bouncing towards the boundary line, going after McBride. He'll see it over, and we'll have another boundary throw in. Let's cross to Will Taylor with some important around the ground scores. Thank you, Wilbur.
Yeah, ball and in front of Norwood Park by 3 points. Of course, the Ray game at halftime was a three-goal lead to Norwood. 27-point lead Blackburn over East Ringwood. Vermont addition up to Eastfield by 8 goals. Roval leading Knox by 11 points, and Scoresby leading Lilydale by 8 points.
Well, Williams was quick. It was clever enough to get the handball away, and they had an open goal. That was Blackie running in, and they've missed it. They've shanked it. One behind is the result on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Norwood moved to 6 goals, 7-43, 3-5-23 South Croydon. Keep on going. Will Taylor with Division 2 at halftime.
Bayswater in front by 19 points over Doncaster East. North Ringwood have hit the front over Donvale by 4 points. Montrose are absolutely smashing Waverley Blues by 64 points. Mooroolbark are leading Mulgrave by 3 goals, and Croydon are leading Upper Ferntree Gully by 47.
Just hold it there, Wilbur, because a poor kick from the kick-out from Ben Osborne has landed straight into the arms of Dale Bull. And here we'll go back from 50 metres out. Long kick towards goal. Has it got the legs? Big fly from behind from Lee Williams in front, and he's marked right on the goal line. He might have a little bit of a difficult angle here, but he should go back and kick his third, Frosty.
He should. That's a really strong mark right on the goal line there. They really need to start making some most of these opportunities. They've probably dominated the play in the last 5 or 6 minutes here in Norwood. They've probably been a little bit loose in their finishing.
Williams around the body. That's a very loose finish, Frosty. That was lucky enough to scrape in for a minor score. And Williams puts through his second behind. Let's go to Will Taylor with some Division 3 scores.
Division 3, Wantirra South are leading Whitehorse by 25 points. Heathmont are leading the inaccurate Ringwood by 11 points. The Basin leading Templestowe by 15 points. Doncaster dishing up to Warrandyte by 42 points. Glen Waver doing the same to Chernside by 58, and Baronia leading Mitcham by 5.
Well, the ball's across the half-back line for South Croydon. We've probably got time for Division 4 while you're at it, Will Taylor.
Park Orchards are leading Sylvan by 13 points. Nuttawading are leading Surrey Park by only 17 points now. Eastern Lions are leading Coldstream by 24, and South Belgrave are smashing past Ferntree Gully by 78 points.
Well, Strong kicked it in the way of Zippy King, bouncing football there. Mallison, this might wrong in its way through. It needs to bounce back, and eventually went through for a behind. If they ever needed a lift, if they ever needed a bit of a spark, that would have been it, Peter Bear, but it bounced through for one behind. So quick bit of end football there by South Croydon, sees them still 20 points down, but Norwood have wasted no time in bringing this ball back in. The big man Armstrong gets down to get the handball out wide. Stuart Hill sweeping handball out towards the Muskin direction. He'll go backwards to go forward, kick half smothered. It might have to be up to Brent English to sell some candy here. He just got dispossessed, got the handball out towards the Dunn direction. They're not letting this ball go, the South Croydon forwards. Eventually they'll get it out though, Norwood. Scrambling kick up towards the wing position. That was okay. Now they'll go forward. The lead is on out there by Jordan. He presents himself brilliantly and takes the mark. He's about 80 metres out. Williams screaming for it. It's a one-on-one situation. Who's going to be the cleverest player here? Williams stands strong. A great jukes and takes the mark about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, and he'll be disappointed with his last shot on goal. He's already kicked 2 for the afternoon, and he'll go back and go for number 3.
I reckon if he puts this one through, he's going to turn around and give it to those rabid doggy supporters sitting in front of the caravan, because they really let him know after he missed that last shot on goal.
So he'll come in from about 35 metres out. He's a class act. This should be bread and butter for a full forward of his ilk, and he absolutely shanks it. And have a listen to the doggy faithful. They are absolutely giving it to Lee Williams out here today.
They're rabid.
Peter Baird with some clever wordsmanship today, but South Croydon, well, they'll be told to go back over the mark.
Boundary.
Very exciting stuff out here, and a man who's right amongst it is Ray Baird, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
I think you guys in the caravan don't realise how tough it is out there, because every player from both sides coming off the ground are absolutely spent.
It's end-to-end stuff.
So Osborne has it in the back pocket here for South Croydon. He goes back to his defensive goal square, and a mark's been taken by Del Judas. Del Judas' kick, not very convincing. Picked up, though, by Zach Carroll. Shrugged one, shrugged another. Kick towards goal. It's just off to the right-hand side and through for another minus score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Norwood 6-9-45, leading South Croydon 3-6-24. 18 minutes gone in the third term. You get the feeling that Norwood have definitely been the better side all day, but they just still haven't shaken South Croydon. If the Dogs can get one or two just before three-quarter time, it's anyone's game.
They've had opportunities of putting South Croydon away this quarter, Ben, but they haven't taken those opportunities. They probably should have been 5, 6, maybe 7 goals in front now. Really let South Croydon off the hook of those last few failed attempts on goal.
1 goal, 4 and 1 out in the full in this quarter, and they've all been kickable goals as well.
So Strawn brings it out, goes along towards half-back. Good mark this time taken by Stevens, and their off and running was a poor handball, so they couldn't go. Molnar goes back to Debney, and now gets a hand pass off to skipper Dan King. King worked it, but poor hand pass in the end, ends up with Calder. Calder now left foot kick inside forward 50, just over the head there of Jordan. They have the numbers here, picked up by Cornwall. Little hand pass back to Jake Ford. In fact, it's Gold, sorry. He's kicked towards the top of the goal square, pretty ordinary in the end. Marked uncontested by Angus Stone, and the Dogs will look to bring it off cross half back. The kick ended up in the hands of Blair Allen. He's at left half back. They'll work it along the outer side. The kick was good to Dan King, had the ball on the string. Right in front of our dwarf Akira Urgent Care boundary riders. Not a lot of height out there today. The kick up towards Crowell, true centre-wing position. Mark, free kick, pay what you like. He caught one high and he took a strong dukish mark. Right in front of Dennis Knight and the Norwood coaching box. He goes back to go forward. Allen, this way than that way. Not a very convincing hand pass, but it might work out okay. The Dogs kicked up towards the half-forward line, but they have numbers at the back here. Muscan got a hand pass off to Brent English. Should be right up there for the Ferntree Gully Holden player of the day today. English brings it out towards true centre-wing position. Trotter back on the field after that yellow card in the second term. Marks. He looks to play on immediately. He spears the ball towards the advantage of Jordan and Williams. Williams gets the accommodating bounce. He handballs back inboard to Dunn. Dunn handballs it further afield. Dale Bull goes towards the top of the goal square. Jordan's in position A. Will he get a free kick? Umpire said no, play on, and it goes through for a minus score in the end. And another behind for Norwood. 6-10-46, South Croydon 3-6-24. 20 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard in the third term. Maddie, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, just in the last few minutes we've seen that turnover rate really pick up. We've got South Croydon leading Norwood 10-7, so not as quite as high as the start of the game, but definitely getting back up there.
Ball's on the far side of the ground for South Croydon. Doing it slowly, Mulder. Got the handball away to Del Judas. He's been very good today, Del Judas. Got the little quick kick on. Just when you give a player a wrap, they stuff up the kick. In the middle of the ground, it'll be Norwood now to go forward over the top in linking handballs. They might be able to stream forward. Blackie got dispossessed. That's holding the football. If they're clever enough, they'll keep this ball moving relatively quickly here, South Croydon. Janelle has it in the middle of the ground. He's just holding the ball up.
Look at the numbers of Norwood just rush back off half forward. They've plugged up this forward line, the South Croydon forward line really well.
Well, the lead goes up towards the half-forward line. Coming out and taking a strong mark is Chris Tennell. He got almost best on ground in our radio game only a few weeks ago and has been in ripper form. He just pokes the ball up to centre half forward. That was really to absolutely no one, but getting into the right spot was Cuthbert at the right time, and he chimes in and takes a mark about 50 metres out from goal, and he's a reliable left-foot kicker and expect him to go very close here, Peter Baird.
That's the first time I've seen the Norwood defence be really disorganised. They had 3 or 4 players to stand around spectating. Then Zach Carroll, obviously one that was really evident there, just stood there and watched the South Croydon player drift into the hole and marked unopposed. Dennis Knight would be furious with that. He'd pull out any hair, but he hasn't got any.
It was Steve Donnell that took the mark.
I just don't think Carroll went hard enough then. He had an option to put his body on the line and really stop that, but he just didn't go hard enough.
So he's in the side to play forward and to kick goals and to kick telling goals, Steve Donnell. He comes in now, starts his run up in the centre square, leans over the ball. He doesn't give it too much. It just gets there, but he nearly just sort of poked at that kick. Didn't kick through the football, and a minor score as a result. That's their 7th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They moved to 3-7-25. It's 21 points behind Norwood, 6-10-46.
So Calder to himself, and he'll bring it across his left back pocket, looking for Jordan. He's one-on-one here with Descent. Jordan illegally got rid of Descent on that occasion, so he'll go back and take the free kick about 60 metres out from goal.
Dan King.
So Descent now. He'll look to free up Arthurson. He chips it towards the forward pocket, though. It's a good kick, but That man in Chris Donnell, not in the greatest spot to kick towards goal, so we go towards the top of the goal square. Stevens will fly from behind. He brings it to ground. Umpires pulled out a free kick. It's going the way of the Dogs. Not sure why. It must have been a hold off the ball in the end. Blair Allen will receive the free kick.
Being held down in the marking contest then, Ben.
So Blair Allen, he's already booted one today from a pretty easy shot on goal. And he'll look to put through his second. Must kick goal for the Dogs. They're just not going away from Norwood yet. They currently trail by 21 points, and Allen makes the margin 15 points.
Still yapping at the feet of the Norsemen here, the Dogs.
So the score goes on to 6-10-46 Norwood, South Croydon 4-7-31. A 15-point ball game at Mullum Reserve on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I could have said they were gnawing away at the bone that is that lead at the moment the Norsemen hold.
Maddie van der Ark, some stats that matter thanks to Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up the tackle count again, boys. We've got South Croydon leading 15 to Norwood's mere 6. So it does mean that Norwood's getting first hand to the ball, but when they do, South Croydon are definitely making work for it. And we saw that just before with that holding the ball paid a couple of minutes ago.
Doing a great job, Matty, on the Choose Tap stats today as Stevens got it down to King, who drives the ball forward. 2 in a minute. It'd be pretty handy towards Zippy. He was nearly held without it. He probably played for the free kick. He might go after it again. He gets down very low right on his hammer there with Zach McCubbin. They might scoop the ball out here. Carroll goes in after it, gets a handball out. In fact, that was David Johnson. Gets it over towards English and now swing around on the left boot. That trusty left boot. It was nicely chopped off there. Dan King, 55 metres out from goal. Set sail for goal from the top of the goal square. And Stuart Hill gets back. He gets crunched by the goalpost. But what a sensational courage mark that was to go back with the flight of the ball and pull it down. And he's not too long in getting back up after Big Stu, the acting captain for the Norsemen this afternoon. And on the last line of defence, he'll kick the ball short. That was okay. They'll have numbers out here, Norwood, if they stick towards the members' side. A neat pass finds Dunn. He wants to move the ball quickly, goes back dangerously towards McBride, but he got down low enough to take the mark. In fact, I think that's Paul Muscat who took that. So he's had a very good game as well himself. Sun in everybody's eyes. The tempo just probably drops a little bit. South Croydon getting the last goal, getting themselves right into contention in this match. It's only a 15-point ball game as the ball goes driving towards the wing position. Armstrong has position A over the back. The big flyer there and a good fist away. Anthony Descent over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Back, Doggies way.
Well, the Doggies, I think they thought that was against Descent, but in fact it's going the way of South Croydon because the crowd didn't like it, but in fact they should be very happy with what's going to happen here because Grattan Stevens will be the man. Well, in fact, it'll be Daniel King to be the recipient of the free kick. He's got players right across the half-back line if he wants to somehow create a switch. Time was always going to be against him because at three-quarter time the siren sounds out here at Mullum Reserve and we've still definitely got a game on our hands in EFL Game Day. There's only 1 quarter to go and it's a 15-point margin. Norwood leading at 6 goals, 10-46. South Croydon a 4-7-31. The only
the week. It's the Norsemen by 15 points. Umpire Jack Murford holds the ball aloft here at Mullum Reserve and we're set for a start. It'll be Armstrong and Stevens to go at it as they have done all day. We'll give that one down to Stevens, but straight down to English on the right boot. He thumps it up towards the half-forward line. Dunn leads in the race. He couldn't quite gather cleanly. Has Strawn for company. Dan King did really well on that occasion. Put his head over the footy and won a hard ball. He got a hand pass back and they're off and running. Molnar goes up towards half-forward to 2-on-1 against Blair Allen on this occasion for South Croydon. But he kept his feet, Blair Allen. Evan Johnson did really well in the end just to see it over the boundary line and out of bounds. 60 metres out from South Croydon's goal. Plenty of games going on around the Eastern Football League today. We're a little bit early here at Mullum, so we'll have plenty of time for interviews and all the like right after the game here on EFL Game Day. Comes back to Molnar now. He kicks it about 10 metres further forward. Evan Johnson went up in the ruck. It's won, though, by Gold. He thumps it forward, but straight into the hands of Glenn Strawn. Been outstanding today, Glenn Strawn. He handballs back. That's not an outstanding hand pass. Comes out here to Debney. Debney, he's turned the ball over there with that handball. David Johnson, wonderful tackle by McLaughlin, almost holding the ball. That's a win for Norwood in the end. The ball trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds. Right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Norwood 46, leading South Croydon 31. So the umpire brings the ball back into play now. Stevens, nice tap down to Dan King. His clearance kick was smothered on that occasion, though. King almost gave away a high free kick. Strawn applies the tackle on Bull. Umpire Jack Murphy says, give it to me, gentlemen. We'll see a ball up right in front of our broadcast position. As I said, plenty of around-the-ground scores that we'll keep you up to date with. We're pretty early here at EFL Game Day today. Armstrong got the tap down towards the advantage of English, who has had the ball in a string today on the non-preferred right foot, just dribbles it further afield. Descent sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Norwood 6-10-46 leading South Croydon 4-7-31 here on EFL Game Day. Coldstream currently leading by 5 points over the Eastern Lions after a 7-goal third quarter, and Baldwin trailing by 6 points over Noble Park at the moment. A ripper of a game. Sam Gaston's out there for EFL Game Day today. You'll hear he's around the grounds report at 5:20 tonight. Umpire Jack Murford throws it up in the middle. Stevens over the top, decisive dump forward towards the advantage of McLaughlin. Oh, unnecessary look-away hand pass straight into the hands of Dunn. That kick was pretty ordinary though. Comes back towards Del Judas. He gets a hand pass over the top to Molnar. Was he dispossessed without the footy? He wasn't. Beautiful look-away hand pass from Strawn on that occasion. Cuthbert goes to Allen in the middle of the ground. Here's Dan King off and running. He feigns the hand pass. He kicks inside 50. The kick was poor. Knocks the advantage of Allen. Hill marks for Norwood defensive.
Oh, no. And he might have mucked this up too. Zippy King swings around, another around the body. Fantastic play. He had to come into this game somehow, and if there was a spark to come from somewhere, it's going to come from Zippy King, and he nails the first goal for the final term to South Croydon, pushing them on to 5-7-37. It's only a 9-point ball game. It's the. What are you trying to tell me, Peter, man?
I was going to say, who let the dogs out, because here they come.
You're unbelievable.
Boundary.
Fantastic. Well, the little chihuahuas down boundary side, thanks to Akira Urgent Care, Bed.
Dennis Knight is not at all happy. One of the things he did say at three-quarter time was on the back line he wanted him to kick the ball, not handball, and we just saw what happened.
We've lost control in the EFL Game Day caravan here today as a secondary ball up in the middle, but what a goal by Zippy King. He brings the margin back to 9 points. It's a 2-goal ball game at Mullum Reserve. Umpire Jack Murphy throws it up in the middle. Stevens and Armstrong go at it. Armstrong follows up his tap work and piles on top of the footy with Stevens again, and we'll see another ball up. This is, the Dogs have come to play today. They probably haven't been the best side, but they certainly have just never gone away. Stevens over the top, got the tap down, but only as far as Dunn. His kick went higher than it went longer. The snap around the body there from Mallison goes another 20 metres further afield. So in the end, it's still smack bang in the middle of Mullum Reserve. And umpire Jack Murphy will throw this ball up again for the third time in about a minute. Plenty of stoppages today. Suits both of these sides, you would think. Comes down to Molnar. Can he break free and get a hand pass off to a free man on the outside? He can't. McLaughlin was waiting for that. And we'll see another ball up. Umpire Jack Murphy throws it up. We're set to go down to the wire. 9 points the lead for Norwood at the moment. And we've played 4.5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Jack Murphy crosses himself again. And we will see another ball up in the middle of Mullum Reserve. Don't go anywhere because we're set for a thriller, and don't go anywhere after 5 p.m. as we go to the BGC Bayswater post-match show. A hand pass, a clearance comes out here for Del Judas, but his hand pass was smothered. And guess what? Jack Murphy will cross himself once again for the 6th time in a minute and a half.
I think Norwood just need to find their structures again. They've gone a bit loose to start this quarter, and I think that's why Dennis Knight is very unhappy.
Armstrong tapped it down. Jordan, beautiful little pirouette out of trouble on that occasion. Dribbled it forward to Gold. Nice little hand pass, intercepted though by Mallison. Can they go that clearly here, the Dogs? They can't. Descent's hand pass was chopped off. The ball, the Norseman move inside 50 over the head of Williams. Stone almost got into the back on that occasion. Picked up though by Chris Donnell, and he brings it out towards the outer side. The Dogs are off and running on the true centre wing position. Inboard to Strawn. Strawn's got a free player inside. They do have numbers. Molnar had no idea of what was behind him on that occasion, and Norwood will look to bring it off their half-back line. Evan Johnson, true centre half-back.
So Johnson, now he has Blackie all alone in the middle of the ground. All he had a player just on his hammer. He had a spare man over the top. 25-metre penalty play. That's pretty tiggy touch, what you would expect in the context of this game.
I reckon that's a professional 25-metre free kick. He had a man free over the top. Right call then by Morris De Vincentis.
Well, he's gone on forward too, and a mark has been taken out there by David Trotter about 50 metres out from goal. Sorry, I should say David Johnson. Boundary. About 50 metres out from goal. Let's cross down quickly to Ray Baird. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
That mark to David Blackie. He was certainly playing on. It's just that the umpire was blindsided on the wrong side.
So the kick by Johnson goes on goal. That's a super looking kick, and the home crowd will cheer that one through. That's the answer Norwood were after. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, as we cross the 6.5-minute mark, all of a sudden that lead just stretches out that little bit more so again. It's 7-10-52, 15-point lead to Norwood, 5-7-37, South Croydon. Riley.
Just a really important steadying goal for Norwood. South Croydon had all the run. Really good play. Justin Gold set that up with that tackle on half-back, and it's come off, and then they've moved it forward and they've kicked a goal through David Johnson.
That takes a lot of wind out of the South Croydon sails, or a lot of bark out of their bite at the moment.
English gets the handball out now to Gold, and this could open the floodgates as the long kick inside 50, thumped away from Williams, snapped on though by McCubbin, got a little hand pass over the top towards Bull. Debney chases after this ball, wants this one to go out of bounds. He's got plenty of Norwood opponents for company, and they'll be happy with that one, Norwood. They forced the ball up in the left forward pocket. And umpire Jack Murford will toss this one up 40 metres out from Norwood's goal. Debney to go up in the ruck. Didn't get a clear tap out. Dan King playing for the free kick. Didn't get it from Jack Murphy on that occasion. And the ball's moved another 5 metres further forward in the left forward pocket. Don't go anywhere. 15-point ball game, this one here at Mullum Reserve. Norwood 52. Lead South Croydon 37 out of mid-air. The kick towards goal. Almost hits the post. It still hasn't gone through, and Stone rushes it through for a minor score in the end. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, we've played nearly 8 minutes. And Norwood 7-12-54 lead South Croydon 5-7-37.
Well, Strawn plays it to himself and wastes no time either. Driving ball out towards the Allen direction, comes out and takes a good mark. They've moved the ball pretty quickly up here to centre wing position. So South Croydon now looking for the answer. They've had a little bit of momentum stolen from them by Norwood in the last 5 minutes, and they'll look to probably slow this game down a little bit as the short pass goes on and finds Cuthbert. He'll swing around on the left boot. Got a man out wide on the wing position all by himself there in Fitzgerald on the left boot. He goes over the top. They've still got numbers. Del Judas goes short inside forward 50. The lead was on, and a good mark down, getting very down low there was Allen. In fact, it was Crowell. The umpire didn't want to pay a free kick. Right on his hammer there was Stuart Hill, and we'll have a bounce only about 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Minogue will go up. Third fly for Norwood. Got the knockdown, bouncing football towards the English direction. He'll see it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
We've barely called James Crowd today. Stuart Hill's had the match up on him all day. He's been one of the best for Norwood.
He has. He's just got that uncanny ability to drop back, be that loose man, and read the play and cut off forward. 4A's from the South Croydon side.
The umpire throws the ball back in. Allen got the little look away handball. Del Judas handball over the top. They've got the linking player here now. Marshall on the left boot towards the pocket. It wasn't the right option. Knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds. 25 metres out from the doggy goal line.
Why are they going wide, Riley Beveridge? Why can't they try and hit that hot spot in front of goal? Because that's where they're more likely to score.
I think it's purely good coaching from Norwood. They've got a lot of numbers. They're clogging up that half forward line, and they're clogging up that hot spot that you talked about. Stuart Hill's doing it really well. A lot of other players like Blackie and English are doing it as well.
I'm not too sure what's going on here. We might
because the footy's gone down towards the bottom oval at Mullum Reserve, and there were a couple of sort of adults who weren't prepared to put their body over the line and get down and get the ball, so they let a 5-year-old kid do it.
Get Brad Henderson to throw it back from his backyard. That's out there.
Well, it's deep in the doggy forward line. Allen goes up over the back. Kingy tried to get a little boot to ball. Bouncing football still towards that boundary line. They're going to try and get out of danger here. Norwood, the handball goes out wide. Good tackle there. And we'll have a bounce as moved inboard. We're only about 20 to 15 metres out from the goals, but it'll be thrown up too, so the angle will open up quite a bit here, you would expect. Plenty of players around this football. The umpire throws it up now over the back. Armstrong got the knock down towards the Blackie direction over the boundary line and out of bounds. Player screaming for deliberate. That is not going to happen at this stage in the game, Peter Baird.
Not even Morris DiVincentis would pay that out of bounds deliberately.
So the umpire about to bring the ball back in. Hot spot there for the South Croydon Football Club. Numbers they need. Daniel King gets down on hands and knees in there too. He's English. He's not going to let that ball out. They're screaming for holding the ball. They might just get it here. He sat on it like an egg. And I would say that that's a completely fair free kick there, Pate, because he thought that he'd get away with that, Brent English, and Daniel King was right over him. They waited. They asked the question, Riley Beveridge, and now all of a sudden the doggies can go back and get closer again.
Yeah, made no genuine attempt of getting rid of that. So that's a pretty good decision. Just sat on it, as you said, and didn't really try and get it out, and this could be a real good captain's goal from Daniel King.
Well, if I had a house, I'd put it on Daniel King, putting this one through, and I would have lost it because he's pushed it to the right-hand side and kicked it straight through the behind. Lucky for BWS. One behind is the result. A captain's goal is what they were after. They didn't get it in that instance. 5-8-38 plays 7-11-53. 11 minutes gone in the final term.
So Norwood will look to bring it out from half-back here. It'll be Calder. Goes towards Truce half back. David Johnson was there. Armstrong just stood tall and took a big mark, as a big ruckman should do from the kick out. He calls for players to present now. He's got Kelleher very wide. He calls for players to go towards the wing. He handballs off to a smaller man to kick it. That's a very wise option. A hand pass comes out now wide to Evan Johnson. Well, this way than that way. Normally makes good choices, Evan Johnson. That was a good one. And the mark's been taken by McBride. And true centre half back here for the Norsemen. They slow the play down. And the umpire calls him to get off his mark now. So he goes towards a one-on-one contest. Nicely done by Carley. Did well to hold his own against Big Armstrong on that occasion, and he's forced the turnover. Fitzgerald just kicks high towards true centre wing. Debney came over the top. Forced the spoil. In fact, there was dissent on that occasion. Jordan picks it up though for Norwood, and they look to bring it across the outer side. Gold with a hand pass over the top to Dunn. Dunn now tucks the ball. He's got a free player at centre half forward. A smart kick and a smart bit of play, and David Blackie can go back and look to put through a much deserved goal.
Blackie's run 80 metres from half back to take that mark. Then really good work rate as has done the whole day.
And really smart play then from Dunn. Could have blazed away and kicked out a shot on goal. Looked inboard, lowered the eyes, saw David Blackie there, 40 metres out. Fantastic vision.
Big chance for the Ferntree Gully Holden player of the day today, David Blackie, from 15 metres out. He unloads and he kicks the goal. Norwood, almost the sealer. 8-11-59. South Croydon 5-8-38 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. That's almost curtains, gents.
I reckon that is all she wrote for the Doggies this afternoon. It could be their finals hope going down the drain at the moment. They really need to try and find something in the last 10-15 minutes of this game, because with Roval and Lilydale both being in front at the moment, they can't afford to drop this game.
Maddie, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, just going to pull the obvious one out, boys. The tackle count again is quite high this quarter, but this time Norwood on the ascending end. They are leading it 17-14.
Well, Jordan got the clearance and he drives the ball forward. Bouncing football. This might go all the way to hit the post. Unbelievable scenes out here at Mullum Reserve. What a ripper of a kick that was. One bounce into the post. That would have brought the house down. It would have tumbled the caravan over too with the rate that I was reaching the pitches. But on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they extend their lead. Norwood, they're 60 playing 38. And the Doggies will have another chance going short and into the back pocket. Del Judas, he makes a lead across the half back line. Ball's in the arms of Mallison now on the left boot. Goes up towards the Stevens direction. He flies. He might get it on the second bite at the fall of the ball. The Dogs will have the numbers. Need to get a quick kick away. McLaughlin scrambles a kick up towards the centre wing position. Nicely taken there by McBride. He wants to go on with it too. He's wasting no time. He drives it inside forward 50. Williams nearly pulled down an absolute screamer. The crowd went up for it. At the fall of the ball, Jakey Ford is there. The umpire will come in and bounce it about 35 metres out from the Norwood goals. They look like they've got the momentum, Pete.
Yeah, I really like the addition of Lee Williams back into the side. He actually gives them a bit of a focal point there. Probably just lacking a little bit of match practice at the moment, but I reckon that could be the dimension that Norwood needs to be competitive against those big, powerful three clubs at the top of the Division 1 ladder.
Well, the umpire bowled it up and McCullum got a double fister on and he gained about 10 metres or so, so it'll go down towards the very right forward pocket down the Norwood end. Very close to the boundary line. The umpire will come in now and bounce it. They could squeeze a goal out here, Norwood. They will shut the gates. Armstrong got it away. A quick out of the nowhere by ball. Got half smothered. Armstrong goes after it again and takes it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Probably a good result for Norwood, a boundary throw-in.
South Croydon can't afford to concede here. They're already 22 points down halfway through the quarter. Still a chance, but they can't concede here.
15 minutes gone. 22 points is the margin. The umpire throws it in now. Doggies have the extra numbers down back. Getting down low is Carley. He can't rip it out. It's 20 metres out from the Norwood goal line. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today on EFL Gameday. It's an absolute ripper. Division 1 football at its best. Two potential final sides. We know Norwood's going to play, but can the Doggies get there? But they need to get a couple of goals on the board to get themselves back in this game. Stolen by Molnar. He took it upon himself to kick it out of that danger zone. And Del Judas has given away a free kick. He might have been a little bit stiff. Norwood might want to go on with this one. The umpire said, bring it back. So play slows a little bit on the outside of the ground. That's 75 metres out now. On the left boot there, Calder drives the ball inside forward 50. Stevens over the back of the pack. They've got players in the goal square there. Ball, if you could just pick it up somehow. There's a snap on goal. That is fantastic play. And I think it's been scooped upon and kicked as well. Norwood have got another goal in a row. And Norwood are going to win this game, Peter Baird. We've gone just over half this quarter, but they really do have the ascendancy. 9 goals, 12-66. Plays 5-8. 38. And, well, good bit of play. There was a lot of plays around that football, Riley Beveridge.
Yeah, it was David Bull. Just a bit of out of mid-air, just hacked it out of mid-air, about 15 metres out, and it somehow just floated over the goal umpire's hat.
I reckon it was Zach McCubbin, actually.
Boundary.
Was it? Oh, well, that just about does it, I think, for Norwood now. 28 points up. I can't see South Croydon coming back in it from this.
Let's go down to Ray Baird, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
That goal kicker was Zach McCubbin, boys.
Thanks very much. The Beards working in tandem very nicely here on EFL Game Days. A kick towards Williams at half forward. Debney was almost tripped as he tried to get that footy. In fact, the umpire said he was tripped. So Debney will receive the free kick right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which sees Norwood with a 28-point lead. They go up towards true centre wing. Mark taken by Arthurson in front of Dennis Knight's coaching box. Dennis Knight must be a lot happier than what he was about 20 minutes ago. The kick was pretty ordinary on that occasion. The turnover has been made. So Norwood have it right in front of our Akira Urgent Care boundary riders. They go up towards the half-forward line. David Johnson on a long lead, and he takes a long mark as well.
That was a good kick.
It was a good kick, nice and accurate, and Johnson's normally a pretty accurate kick. He likes the limelight, David Johnson. He gets around one man. Beautiful kick inboard to Cornwell, and he marks about 40 to 45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
They've done very well in the last quarter or so of being able to lower their eyes as they move the ball forward, being able to isolate a man inside their forward 50 rather than bombing away.
Plays on quickly to David Johnson, who sets sail for home from outside 50. It's just off to the left-hand side and through for a minor score for Norwood. But they are home here at Mullum Reserve today, 9-13-67 to South Croydon, 5-8-38, 17, almost 18 minutes gone here in the final quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Dan King takes the mark in the back pocket. They need to start a run. They certainly need to start it now to the South Croydon Football Club, and they've linked up okay across the half-back line. Ball goes driving towards the crowd direction. He couldn't quite take the mark, but at the second bite, the umpire might pay a free kick here. So I said he's been relatively quiet today, and he certainly has been, and he gave a hospital handball away, but coming in there was Cuthbert to lend some support over the top. They're linking okay. In here is inside forward 50, Mallison got the kick on at side goal. Zippy King around the body, snaps it around, and we'll have a one behind for South Croydon. So that's where he likes it, Zippy King, but he had a lot of pressure on him. One behind as a result, Riley.
They took some risks then, South Croydon, which is what they need to do. They took some risks from handballs. We saw Crowell got a quick handball out. Might have been a hospital handball, as he called it, but it was a risk, and that's what they need to do because they're not going to win this game playing conservatively.
So Kelleher, big margin out here now, let's face it. 28 points is that margin. Played it to himself and out towards the English direction. He had to be clever, and we know that he's clever. So he won the football and then moved it on towards the wing position. Zach McCubbin, who's also had a very good game today, he takes the mark and then drives the ball very close towards the boundary line. But a strong mark has been taken by Lee Williams, who came a long way out from goal and got down. Got it away to English again. He's been super inside forward 50. It's all just class now for the Norwood Football Club because Rhett Jordan was in position A, and he'll go back and have a shot on goal about 40 metres out directly in front, and this will put through the final nail in that coffin.
It certainly will, and this is the all she wrote for the South Croydon Football Club. We have got the first final score coming through. The Heathmont Jets have won in a thriller by 2 points to retain the HG Parker Cup over Ringwood.
Well, they love winning the close ones, don't they, the Jets? But in comes Rhett Jordan to put through the goal for Norwood and put another 4 points on the board because this game is done and dusted out here at Mullum Reserve. Norwood are set sailing towards a big finals appearance this year, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 10-13-73 plays 5-9-39. We've reached time on in this final term.
Matty van der Ark, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, look, boys, the real big reason that Norwood's in front by the margin that they are is that they're leading the inside 50s 9-4, and from those 9 inside 50s, they've had 7 scoring shots, so they're quite accurate going forward.
So ball back in the middle. Umpire Jack Murford throws it up now. Spurrell and Stevens go at it. Comes down to Molnar. Nice little hand pass over the top to Mallison. They go back to go forwards, but it might work out okay here. As Strawn off half back up towards true centre wing position. Bounces accommodatingly here for Cuthbert. Steadies and gets onto the left boot and goes up towards half forward, but a nice thump there from Muscant over the boundary line and out of bounds. True centre wing position. Norwood lead this one now quite comfortably by 34 points. Boundary throw in now. Stevens convincing got the tap down to Ford. Ford's hand pass over the top was good to Gould. And a kick around the body there from Carroll was okay. Straight through the hands of his teammate though, McLaughlin. got his hands free and a hand pass over the top to Cuthbert. He didn't get his hands free and it might prove costly. Here's an opportunity for Sparrow. Spears it towards Williams, straight through the jigs. Might work out okay though for McCubbin. Was he held without the footy? Umpire said play on. Strawn here at the bottom of the pack. Gave it up. The kick from Sparrow towards the top of the goal square. It's all South Croydon at the back. And a strong mark taken by Anthony Descent. And he'll go out towards the outer side. They've got players on here. Do the Dogs. Taken here by Christinell. He goes in towards the middle of the ground, looking for Carly. Carly took it strongly, and they got a little hand pass over the top to Molnar. Frees up Dan King. He can go all the way, Dan King, from 55 metres out. Dan King towards goal, just off to the left-hand side, and through for another minor score for the Dogs. 5-10-40. Norwood 10-13-73, 1.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Forest Hill are going to be playing finals, boys. Final score, they defeated Kilsyth 92-54 today.
So, ball now in the middle for Norwood. They'll go straight down the guts and up towards English at half forward. Strong hands, couldn't quite take the mark though, but it spills free to Cornwell at Truson half forward. Gives it to English. He deserves a goal, Brett English. Into the open goal, and he misses.
Really had to kick that because he had McCubbin standing by himself at the top of the goal square.
Another minor score, 10-14-74 Norwood, South Croydon 5-10-40, 22.5 minutes gone on Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
A little bit of bargy happening in the crowds, boys. Let's just watch the quality game that we're happening in front of us as the kick goes out by South Croydon. A free kick has been paid. Thought it was going to go the way of Descent, but the umpire saw something off the ball, so the kick goes up further along the outer side of the ground, linking up nicely. Handball. Descent will get it now. Gets his grubber of a handball on further field, trying to link up a teammate. Norwood, they're just creating so much pressure here, and they're creating opportunities. The ball now inside forward 50. Players all alone going for the goal now. Well, they might even get the handball off to English. Kick across the face of goal, and Williams is absolutely screaming for it. He's not happy. It went out of bounds on the full. So bit of a let-off there for South Croydon. We know this game is done and dusted. 23 minutes are gone in this final term, and it's a healthy 34-point lead by the Norwood Football Club over South Croydon. 10-14-74 plays 5-10-40. Plenty of great results happening as you go local for your football today, so make sure you stay tuned to the broadcast. Great fly over the back there by Zach Carroll. He took a mark, kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line, spots up a teammate there in McCubbin. Really loved his game today. He'll probably be my votes. His pass is on short, and Williams is there to take the mark, and he'll go back and put a shot on goal for his third of the afternoon.
Just around the grounds, unbelievable scoreline at three-quarter time. South Belgrave 19-11, 125 are leading Ferntree Gully 3 behinds. Remember, this is first playing second in Division 4.
3 behinds at three quarters.
3 behinds at three-quarter time.
David Johnson, the blonde lock, stole me here. He'll come in and put on a nail, another nail, but he kicked hard at that football, didn't he? And he created that helicopter effect, and it went across the face of goal for a 1 behind. 10-15-75 plays 5-10-40. 24 minutes gone here. Norwood lead it comfortably.
Let's go down to Ray Baird, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Just on that Ferntree Gully score, mate, I did tip Ferntree Gully, so how much do I know?
Congratulations, Ray Baird, one of the many experts here in the EFL Media Team.
Lucky he said that himself.
Coldstream, 16-7-103, defeated the Eastern Lions. So the Lions, they had a bit of a scare in that first half, but they've come good in the second half, have Coldstream. So they've defeated the Eastern Lions by 31 points. We'll keep an eye on the Park Orchards and Sylvan game as well, as that one goes up towards half-back. Alan Marks plays on quickly. The kick towards true centre wing. Mark taken by Crowell. Plays on immediately to Cuthbert. Goes onto that trusty left boot. The kick didn't suit Carly, but well done. He kept his feet. Couldn't quite gather it cleanly, though. He goes in for a second effort. Well done, young man. He forces a ball up on the wing position.
Just a bit of news in Division 1 as well. Bourne have kicked 2 goals in 2 minutes to lead Noble Park by 4 points late in the last quarter.
Sammy will be giddy.
He will be. He's got a beauty out there at Baldwin SEN Park as Hill gets the tap down only as far as Daniel King. His kick just dribbled another 5 metres further forward, and the ball trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I don't think you could fault South Croydon's effort in this last quarter. They're still moving the ball quickly. They're still getting runners past the ball and overlapping, so they've done pretty well even though they're so far behind.
Stevens went up in the ruck, got the tap down. Hand pass frees up Cuthbert here at half forward. He centres the ball, but it's all Stewie Hill, and he takes a very comfortable mark at true centre half back. And he's got players running on that outer side here. Hill over the top. He's got the overlap. The kick inboard towards the middle of the ground. Mark taken by Cornwell. Frees up Sparrow. This is all down the guts. Sparrow's kick was smothered off the boot, though. Ends up in the hands here of Marshall. He tried to spin out of trouble. Good tackle applied there by Bull in the end. Can he hold it in? Molnar did well on hands and knees. knees. His hand pass straight down to Marscant, though. He frees up Rhett Jordan. He kicks inside forward 50. Williams in position A. He'll run in and kick his third. And mixed reactions from the crowd here at Mullum Reserve. Williams kicks goal number 3. And that is his 9th goal in 3 games. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Norwood really running away with this one out here at Mullum Reserve. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Norwood 11-15-81, leading South Croydon 5-10-40.
He gives them a lot, doesn't he, Lee Williams? He offers a big lead up forward, a target forward up the ground, and then also when he drops deep, he's a big man, so he can take a contested mark and he can kick goals as well. So he'll be definitely an integral part of their finals campaign.
Boys, I reckon Lilydale's finals hopes are definitely dashed. Scoresby currently lead out there at the moment by 4 goals, and that's midway through the final term.
Interesting result. Great to see Scoresby being able to answer several challenges in this back half of the season, and they've done pretty well too, as the umpire throws it up in the cricket pitch in the middle of the ground. It's a siren sounds out here, and Norwood, well, they've been a finals contender for such a long time already, but really they stamped themselves as a major player come September in only a few weeks' time. Big win over South Croydon today. We're in 5th position, 11-15-81, a 41-point win over South Croydon, 5-10-40. They really had the ascendancy all afternoon, didn't they, the Norwood Football Club?